Hey, what's up guys? Tito here, and so you guys seen the unboxing and the first impressions of the ZTE Warp 7 by me. And so now's that time. I bring to you guys my review, my thoughts of the ZTE Warp 7 for Boost Mobile. So it's that time. Cue that roll and let's go. Okay, boys and girls, so it's about time for that review of the ZTE Warp 7. I've had the pleasure of using this device for a few days now, and I did find it to be enjoyable. But that's not to say that, it's the best. And my opinions about it has not changed. So we're going to go talk about that a little bit later on in the video. Let me just get the stuff for the spec junkies out the way. So, spec-wise, 5.5-inch display, 720 by 1280 at 267 pixels per inch. It has the Snapdragon 410 processor, clocked at 1.2 gigahertz. It's got 16 gigs of onboard storage with about 10 gigabytes available for you guys to use for pictures, videos, etc. 2 gigs of RAM to help run those applications. For the cameras, it's got a 13 megapixel rear camera on the back with autofocus and all that good stuff. And an LED flash right there. It's got a 5 megapixel selfie cam up front. Speakers on the bottom here, usual. All your buttons on the side. So you got your power button, you got your volume rocker, all that stuff right there. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on top. USB Type-C. Now that's a good or bad, and we'll explain that a little bit later on. Continuing on with the specs, we do have a 3080 milliamp hour battery. No NFC. Does have expandable storage. I believe it was 64 gig SD card supported, but I think you can go higher than that. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi capable, all that good stuff. So, let's get the obvious out of the way. This running 6.0.1 Marshmallow. It's nice to have. You know, being on the most updated software is always a good thing. So I'll tell you guys that much right now. The fact that it has a removable battery is actually a real good thing, though, for some people that want to buy an additional battery to pop in here and stay juiced up. And that probably would be the best route. Sorry, my throat is dry. It would be the best route. And the reason why I say that is because there's not a lot of compatible power banks for this guy. USB Type-C is fairly new, so that is one negative impact about the ZTE Warp 7 that I frown upon. And I know that there are power banks out there that have USB Type-C cords and stuff. You can find them on Amazon. They're 15, 20 bucks, etc. However, you got to go order through there. Like when I went to Walmart, when I go to Target, they don't carry power banks with USB Type-C native in the store. So if I want to walk in the store and get one, not happening. So you got to get them from like Amazon currently right now. Or you can just get a power bank and carry your USB cord that comes with this device, and you'll be able to charge it up if it starts to run dead. But the problem with that is that you risk losing your USB charger. And if you lose your USB charger, it's not like you have like a whole bunch of backup charging cables, because most devices till today still natively support micro USB. So while having not micro but USB Type-C is like so cool because it's the latest, it's hip to the hipsters out there. As far as convenience, that's not there. So that is one thing that I do frown upon about USB Type-C. Other than that, the good thing about having USB Type-C is that there's no wrong way of charging your device. You plug that cable in, you don't have to worry about damaging the port because they can go in either way. So that is one of the best things about USB Type-C, is that there's not an incorrect way of plugging in your charger. So that's always great. 5.5-inch display is actually quite nice. The only thing that I frown upon about the body build of this device is it is wider than the Warp Elite. And so wider devices cramp your hands to hold. That's my opinion. Some people may like them wider. I don't. I do think that the build of the device is actually quite nice. I do love the backing on it. It's like a sandstone feel to it, and that's always something good. You can never go wrong when you kind of put a little bit of thought into construction of a smartphone, and ZTE really didn't hold back on this one. Putting that nice sandstone feeling back You know, it's not a fingerprint magnet, obviously, not all too much. But I mean, if you have like greasy fingers, yeah, you're gonna see like I got these stains on here because I went to a restaurant called Pork on the Fork, and I had me a pulled pork sandwich, and I grabbed my device to check a text message, and yeah, so I gotta wipe that off. But other than that, I mean, really nice. Now, for cameras, okay, let's talk about the cameras, because the cameras was a big disappointment with the Warp 7. This is probably the first time that I've really talked negative about a smartphone, and my apologies to those people who are going to get offended, but I am going to speak the truth here. The camera sensors on the Warp Elite seem to hold up better in low light and in evening nighttime shots, okay? I actually tested this out with Facebook Live. I did a live broadcast from my Warp 7 on Christmas Eve, and nobody could see me. Even with the garage light on, nobody could see me because it wasn't picking me up that well in the dark. The Warp Elite did a better job in the live broadcasting on Facebook, picking me up, and therefore people could visibly see me in the broadcast. So that was kind of a letdown. This is supposed to be a but a upgrade from the Warp Elite, since most OEMs are not going to give out software updates. They're going to do them all and encase them in hardware, basically forcing you to pay for this if you want to have the Warp Elite experience with 6.0.1 Marshmallow. You got to get this, and that is the bummer about it, because that they're going to make you purchase new hardware. If I'm going to purchase new hardware to have the experience that I want with 6.0.1 Marshmallow on a Warp Elite, why are you going to downgrade the camera sensor? That is my biggest gripe with this device. I expected the cameras to be better, including the rear camera. The rear camera is not off the hook here. The main cam, that big old sensor right there, I would think that the aperture rating would be better. I think that it should be able to handle better in low lighting compared to the Warp Elite. But that hasn't happened. That is a major upset, in my opinion. You know, this device would have really scored high with me. Even though it is spec'd almost the same to the Warp Elite, it would have scored higher if it didn't do that with the cameras. I don't care for fingerprint readers. I'm not upset that this technically is the Grand X3. It doesn't faze me that it's basically considered old tech that was renamed and branded to be new tech. I don't care about that. But when I'm out with, family, I want to capture life's moments. I'm not a professional photographer, but I would love to get some nice selfie shots. If I go out with the family in the late evening to have a dinner, we step outside to say goodbye. I want to take a selfie with my family to remember the evening, and you can't see nobody. That's a big, big, big downer for this device. So camera sensors really hurt my opinion about this device. Completely. Everything else seems, in my opinion, it's okay. It's okay. And the reason why I say it's okay and it's not spectacular or grand is because, again, this is the Warp Elite with upgraded hardware. That's all it really is. There's nothing snappy about it. If they threw in a new chip, a better chip, made it an octa-core processor instead of quad-core, it'd be something to brag about. If they added 32 gigs of internal storage instead of 16, it would be something to brag about. If they added 3 gigs of RAM instead of 2, it would be something to brag about. But everything about this device screams Warp Elite with updated hardware. That's all it really is. The fact that you get USB Type-C is not a major plus, but rather a hindrance to the device, because most things are USB Type-C is not the normals. There's not normalcies out there. When you stop and you say you forgot your charger, you walk into a local Starbucks and there's a guy sitting there who seems to be nice, and you're like, hey, excuse me, sir, can I borrow your charger real quick to charge up my phone? I forgot mine. And he says, sure. You're not going to get a guy that has USB Type-C. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be someone with a micro USB. And so that's, the big stinker there. But this device is not all bad, okay? The screen resolution looks pretty much great. I dig the fact that when you use the themes, which I'll show you guys right now, like this theme right here, this is the fancy theme. And one thing that's cool about the fancy theme that you may notice is there's no app drawer. So a person like me, coming from the X Power that, default doesn't have an app drawer, this is just fine. And yes, people may be like, it's iPhone-ish. I don't care anymore. I don't care about OS wars and none of that crap, really. Okay, I may not use an iPhone, and that's my personal preference, but I don't care if something is similar, because everything is basically similar when it becomes, well, between Android and iOS. It's almost very similar. But anyways, I do love the fact that you have the ability to get rid of the app drawer. So if you just kind of want to just roll it like this, you basically can. You can always switch up the theme, and that's nice that it comes with stock themes. I really wish that ZTE would actually create some sort of like theme store, kind of like what Samsung has, where you can download different themes and also have developers create themes for this device. Would absolutely be amazing. But the screen is quite beautiful. I do love the screen. I actually think this screen is better than the Warp Elite. If you guys see the wallpaper of Akuma or Gouki from Street Fighter, the reds is really nice. I love how the reds look on the display. Of course, the kanji symbol for heaven. And yeah, you know, it's just the reds are nice and red, the blacks are blacks. You know, you guys see the blues and all different colors. They look okay. They're not like the sharpest or the most accurate colors, but you know what? I really don't care about that. The screen to me is a big plus. This notification shade, I thought I was absolutely going to dislike it because it is transparent. But come to find out that, you know, it's okay. I'm not a real big deal about it. You know, of course, one of my friends was telling me that it is kind of iOS-ish, you know, with the kind of transparent frosted background. I really don't care. I think it's kind of nice, you know, and of course you get your access to all your quick settings and stuff right there, so that's always something pretty cool to have right then and there, you know, the gist. And if you don't like any of these themes, you can open the themes, but, you know, the launcher itself, you can always add in another launcher. I think the Pixel launcher would look amazing on this device. I haven't ran it on there, but I think it would be amazing to be on here. It is an all-plastic build, so we're going back to the body right now. It's an all-plastic build, and it doesn't really kill me that it's all-plastic build. I think the plastic build is fine. It does okay. This device actually feels kind of beefy for me. It does feel like it could survive an impact being dropped back down. But if you drop it, you know, screen down, I honestly do feel like the screen will crack. Because of the weight of the device would actually be a hindrance to the screen, compromising the screen and thus spider cracking it or shattering it. I don't know, it's my opinion. I know it has Gorilla Glass 3, but yeah. One of the biggest things, which is something about ZTE that I really like about them, is the audio. And now the audio on this device is actually really, really loud. So loud that at full volume, I really felt like I was going to blow out the speaker. The speaker actually started to have just a little bit of distortion, listening to music, listening to YouTube videos. Sorry for background noise. It's crazy in my house. And that's a good thing for me. That's a good thing because I can actually keep the volume on 80 and it's loud. I don't have to put it up to 100. I dislike devices where you really have to put the volume all the way up to 100 just to even hear it. That is a big issue. I want to be able to just listen to it at 80 and know that I still have 10% more to go up if I really needed to get that extra, you know, pop of sound. But also it scares me that I'm going to blow out this. Okay, we're back. Technical difficulties. I knocked over the camera, but as I was saying, is that I get scared that I'm going to blow out the speaker. So let me readjust my camera. I actually knocked it over just a second ago. My bad. So the audio on this thing is killer. It's definitely killer. It's louder than the Warp Elite, in my opinion. It's louder than any ZTE device that I've ever owned. So big kudos to the Warp 7 for that one. Now, you know, you guys heard my thought about the display. You guys heard my thought about some of the features on this device. Would I recommend this device to anyone out there? And the answer is yes, I would. Even if you're a Warp Elite owner, I would recommend this. And the reason why is because if you're sitting tight waiting for a 6.0.1 update for the Warp Elite, forget it. It ain't coming. You're going to have to get this. But while you are forced to upgrade by buying new hardware, at least you're not going to spend $150 or $179 like the Warp Elite was. You're getting it for $99. And right now, if you price match it, you can get it for like $59 or whatever. So Best Buy does price match just like Walmart does. And, you know, having updated software is actually pretty cool. Do I think this will get 7.0 Nougat? For all those people that might ask that question, I doubt it. I believe like the next Warp will have Nougat. So don't, you know, like, yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't hold your breath, whatever. Just enjoy the device for what it is, okay? With the major hindrance of the USB Type-C, that is what it is for right now. But don't get me wrong. Once USB Type-C becomes even more normal in 2017, that most devices are coming out with it, then this would not be a hindrance to you at all. This would actually be just fine to use. So, yeah, just really all around good phone, and for what I got it for, phenomenal device. definitely would recommend it. If I'm going to rate it by star ratings, as some people say, then I would definitely give this device basically 4 out of 5 stars. Honestly, really good device. I really dig it. I really like it. I really, just from some of the negative things I said about it, it really doesn't really put me in that bad of a bind with it, and I'm glad that I actually got a chance to use it and to own one. So that's what I got for you guys right now. If you guys have any more questions, please ask them in the comment section of this video. Drop me a like if you guys enjoyed it. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I had to hiccup there for a second. But yeah, I would really appreciate it. And hopefully I was able to cover enough with this device for you guys to basically get some knowledge on it. Links on the display to take you guys to my channel to subscribe. If this is your first time checking it out, please subscribe. I would really deeply appreciate it. And as always, you guys will see me in the next video. Aloha. Look out for the comparison between this and the Warp Elite. Will actually be the first thing that I do with the Warp 7. And so on against any of my other devices. Okay, I'm going now. Good night. Goodbye. Aloha. I'll see you guys in the next one.